What is up, everybody? This is a special episode of Mike and Ant. There's no Mike today, though, just Ant, so I'll be rolling solo. This will be a quick one. Just going to break down the Thursday night game that happened between the Commanders and the Packers. The final score was 27-18 Green Bay. This game wasn't even as close as the final score indicated. Green Bay pretty much dominated this entire game. This game kind of reminded me of last week's game between the Packers and the Lions, kind of the same formula where the Packers pretty much jumped out to an early lead and just cruised the rest of the game. Washington didn't even score their first, they scored their only two touchdowns, I should say, in the fourth quarter. Other than that, they were just held to field goals the whole entire game. Jaden Daniels played okay, completed 24 42 passes for 200 yards, just 4.8 yards per attempt. He did throw two touchdown passes, but he was sacked four times. Also, the Commanders' leading rusher was Ja'Cory Korsky Merritt. I think I said that right. He had four carries for 17 yards. Eckler also had eight carries for 17 yards. And Jaden Daniels had seven carries for 17 yards. So all three of their leading rushers had 17 yards. They couldn't even get anything on the ground, couldn't get anything in the air. Like I said, they couldn't really do anything until the fourth quarter. Offensively, the Packers, they pretty much had the way. Jordan Love had another good game. Put it 19-31, 292 yards, two touchdowns, no interceptions. Josh Jacobs, he helped me in fantasy tonight. He had 23 carries for 84 yards and a touchdown. The Packers' leading receiver was Tucker Kraft, the tight end, six catches, 124 yards and a touchdown. My co-host Mike, he says that the Packers have no good receivers, no good tight end, but Tucker Kraft tried to prove him wrong today. I will say this Packers defense looks elite. So far through the first two games of the season, I think they have the number one defense in the league. And if they keep playing like this, they might actually make it to the Super Bowl. But we'll see. We'll see how the season plays out. There was a couple of injuries though. Austin Eckler for the Commanders looks like he tore his Achilles, which is not good, especially at his age. He's getting older, so it's gonna be hard for him to bounce back. And they're reporting that Jaden Reed broke his collarbone in the game. So that hurts the Packers as far as their weapons go. Christian Watkins is not back yet either. I'm assuming Christian Watson is not back. So Packers down a receiver, even though they do have Matthew Golden, he looked pretty good. And they got some other receivers too, Romeo Dobbs and Wicks. Can't think of his first name. But yeah, this is just complete domination by the Packers. They dominated this game pretty much from start to finish. Couldn't really get anything. Washington couldn't really get anything going. It was all Green Bay. The final score says it was 27-18, but like I said, the game wasn't even as close as the final score indicated. There was never any point in this game where you felt like Washington was going to win or had a chance to win. So that's enough of the Thursday games. I want to just quickly go over some NFL news. The big news of the day is Brock Purdy. He's going to miss 2 to 5 weeks with that turf toe. So we're going to see Matt Jones. As I mentioned before, and I think as people know, originally, according to the rumors, Kyle Shanahan won the draft, Mac Jones, back in the 2021 draft. John Lynch won the Trey Lance. Obviously, John Lynch being the GM, he kind of won out, so they drafted Trey Lance. And John Lynch right now has a job because they got lucky in the seventh round by drafting Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy ended up being the better quarterback and ended up taking them to the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game in his first 2 years, pretty much saving John Lynch's job because when you trade up as many assets as the 49ers gave up just to get Trey Lance and for them to become a bust, most GMs are getting fired after that. But like I said, John Lynch lucked out with Brock Purdy. So Purdy's gonna be out for miss the next 2 to 5 weeks. George Kittle's gonna miss the next 2 to 5 weeks with his hamstring. Well, they placed him on IR, so he's gonna miss at least 4 games. Purdy's gonna miss at least 2 to 5, so we'll see. But the Niners banged up now to start the season, so hopefully we'll see what happens. But that was the discussion in the offseason with Niners had the easiest schedule in the NFL. Not only have the easiest schedule in the NFL, it was the easiest schedule that any team has had in the last decade. But if your players are hurt and banged up like they are, having an easy schedule doesn't really mean anything. So we'll see how that season plays out. As far as this, like I said, it'll be a quickie, quick little video, just giving you my thoughts on the game tonight. On the right side of my screen, or yeah, on my right, you can see the Prince Nana Coffee QR code. You can scan that, get your Prince Nana coffees. Also, too, you can follow us on YouTube at Mike and Ant. You can follow me on Twitter at Expectant Ant, and also too at Mob Squad 508. That's for Mike. You can see the two Twitter handles on the bottom. So follow us. You can also listen to the podcast at Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. And we're on Spreaker, and hopefully we'll be on more platforms pretty soon. As I said, this is a short one. We'll be back later on with Mike to give us our to break down week 2, give you a preview who we think who will win and lose this upcoming week as all the games jump off on Sunday. So listen out for that. But in the meantime, peace and everybody have a good night.